3 o'clock. So
Yes.
we will start with the
Yeah.
presentation, and the presentation
Yeah.
is given by Mr. K. Anjanelu. He is talking about the basically philosophy of investing in F&O. As we all know, the investing or trading is basically a psychology. 90% is psychology and 10% is the picking of the right stock or something like that. But main is the psychology. So if you can win your psychology, you are winner. So that is all Mr. Anjanelu is going to talk today. So I'm handing over the dice to Mr. Anjanelu. Mr. Anjanelu, please, you can start.
Welcome, Mr. Anjanelu.
Yeah, good, wonderful afternoon to everybody.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My voice is clear?
Yeah, yours is clear. Yeah.
Very much, very much.
Very much. Okay. And I shared the presentation. Presentation is on, sir?
Yeah. On.
Okay. So I'll start the presentation. Now just we will look at the, the Kothari sir, the slide, first slide. That itself shows a lot of things in it. There is a white horse and black horse, the chess pawns, which you can see that, there is a, you can win through white also, you can win through black horse also. And, the first caption itself, you cannot undo the moves, but you can make the next step better. So that means you have to look forward, don't look forward the backward, but you can check on the backwards and go for the forward. So this is just, I want to share how the slide has been made. And the horse is, the special horse he has chosen, which has got a special technique, which can go forward and jump and, take left or right turns. So that's how our, financial freedom, moves forward and makes a moves like a horse and gets, and even better than the minister. So I'll just differentiate between the investment and gambling. What is the investment and what is the gambling? Investment is basically a low risk or calculated risk with high probability, whereas gambling is high risk, low probability. मतलब भगवान का भरोसे के ऊपर we'll put the money and leave it. So that's how the gambling takes place. Where investment is, what is the likely outcome and what is the possibility of the scenarios and how the calculated risk you do it, and that's how it gets into the thing. So when I talk about the philosophy, first let us understand from where the money is coming to the equity market or stock market and where the money is going. If you understand little bit background of it, it may be helpful. So I thought basically for stock market, the money comes through the investor through IPO. Then the investor gets back through dividend. So the profits which the company shares, that's you get dividend, and bonus shares, which has a zero cost, right shares, splitting of the shares, and etc. So, but this basically the rest of the portion works on the speculation and the valuation of the stock. How one speculates the other compared to the others. That's how the difference between the money come from one pocket to other pocket. So in case of futures and options, basically there is a bias, there is a seller. So, and there are, hedging one against the other between the buyer and seller. So somebody hedges his call option or put option, and somebody puts a triangle, somebody puts a, lot of things, because variations are there in futures and option. So like if you bought a future, then one PE can be bought as a hedging. So like that. So there are some buyers, there are some sellers. So the money goes gambling, not, the investment between from one person to others. So that's how the money goes in futures and options. And I want to just tell you one psychological thing. So in both the cases, simply the demand difference between the information plays a big role. Like buyer thinks that stock price will not go up, will go up. So seller thinks that it has reached the high, it will go down. But the difference in perception of both the people. So somebody buys and somebody sells. But these two are, totally a different view. It's 100% opposite view in perception, understanding, thinking, analyzing, or speculation, whatever you say. But if you have to see that the buyer always thinks that this price is, suppose even if it is reached like 10,000 rupees per share also, even the PE is high, even what are the parameters, but he thinks that it will go up. That's why he buys it. Whereas the seller, he thinks that 100 rupees, it has come to now 10,000 rupees, or it is a reached maximum, it will go down. So that's how the money plays from one pocket to other pocket. So somebody loses, somebody gains. So that's how the money goes one area to other area. So that's where the the perception makes a difference. So who makes the money ultimately? Who is informed investor who knows what is going on, and and near accurate trend predictor or predicted investor. The investor who predicts the near accurate. If nobody can predict what exactly is going to happen, but at least the majority is going to predict, he will be the, he will make money. And who is having a balanced mindset and regular and consistent learnings and controlling emotions. So that's how that person makes the money. So this is just background of how the money comes into the market, from where the money goes into the market. Of course, in between these agent, like brokers makes money also, because they are transaction lot of amounts of money. Brokers and government, they will also make money. But from the investor perspective, this is, you have to understand that money is, you cannot get money directly from wherever is there. See, as company, what happened, they are producing delivery, they are producing something, from there they are making profits. So from there the salaries have been given, because you are delivering some work and you are getting salary. But here it's no delivering, only you are just your prediction, 100% prediction will make you more money. Second thing, so game of money. So from where the money is coming, let us just understand. If I am able to manage, if I can manage one rupee from every Indian, like 140 crore population, so even the negligible amount from each one person, but it becomes 140 crores, high values. Now let us calculate the demat account holders, approximately 5.2 crores. Even if I able to manage 1 rupee from every account to in my account, so I can get 5.2 crores. But these are all tough things, but I'm just calculating from how the money can come from one place to other place. Even 75% of the demat accounts are inactive. So that way only 1.3 crores accounts are active. So I can manage to get even 1 rupee from every active demat account, it becomes 1.3 crores. But if you see the futures and options, only 20 lakhs demat accounts are traded in futures and options. So in that, some are in currency, some are in commodities, some are in derivatives, some are mixed, one or two together. But if you see that market cap of NSE is 3 trillion, BSE is 2 trillion. So total 5 trillion, that is around approximately 5 lakh crores. From where the money is rolling in the stock exchange. So because a lot of mutual funds, hedge funds, pension funds, foreign investors, direct investors, high net worth individuals, NRIs, so they play a big role, in making the money, because they big bets. So that's how the money comes in, and some portion is retailers also. So the idea, the money reflect money from one place to other place. Big fellows want to take money from other big fellows or the retailers, or retailers wants to get the money from other retailers or big fellows. So that's how. Just I want to make you to understand that how the things are taking place. So it looks difficult to make money in the futures and option or stock market, but not impossible. See that the greater the difficulty, the greater the winner. If you see, so if you are in depth of understanding the subject, easily you can crack. So anything is possible. See, it looks like that everything is difficult and the prima facie, but when you enter it and when you go into deeper it is not impossible. So that's how I want to just share this. Second thing, the possible gains. So let us come to our futures and option. Suppose if I make 1% gain every day, I'll invest some amount of money, I'll make 1% gain. So total 365 days are there in a year, 104 Saturdays, Sundays if you remove, 11 holidays if you remove, and around 250 days it comes. Out of the 250 also, if you remove 50 days, you don't trade, for example, for any reasons. So around 200 days, even if you trade, if you calculate 1%, so you should make money 200% gain per year. Even if you say, for example, 0.5%, it will be 100% per year. Even if you assume that I can make 0.25% gain on average per day. So 50% per year I can make. So that means monthly 4%, weekly 1%. even if you say 0.25% per day, approximately I'm just calculating, having in mind average gain of 4% per month. But if you see the world's highest gains in a hedge fund, the CAGR is 66%. So the highest gains in a hedge fund is 66%. So that means we can aim for at least 3% per month. So 36 to 48% easily we can aim, and we can target and we can achieve also. So hope it is clear. I think second thing is how to go about it. So I just sample calculation I made it around. You have a capital of 60 lakhs, for example. So let us invest 10 lakhs in Nifty Bs. Let us invest 10 lakhs in gold Bs. Let us invest 10 lakhs in large cap or 20 lakhs in liquid Bs. Pledge all the above so that you will get a 70% margin. So see Nifty Bs, gold Bs and large cap. If you see 70% margin, approximately 20 lakhs margin you get it. And you keep the collateral as 10 lakhs as a cash. So it becomes, so total 40 lakhs as a margin. So 20 lakhs cash margin, 20 lakhs is a collateral from the stocks, and 10 lakhs is a cash. So total you got 50 lakhs. So in real terms, net investment is your 10 lakhs only, but underlying that stocks which are you have pledged, automatically it will grow on doing, it will grow automatically, or it will fall, whatever is happens. So this is basically your net investment is 10 lakhs, but you are leveraging to 50 lakhs of margin. So whatever end as a rental income automatically added to additional margin, additional cash margin you can add it. So, but however, just to think that, you know, the pledged stocks grow, fall independently provides as a margin, treated as a cover for all covered call. You can do from that also Nifty Bs, you can as a covered call, or large cap stock, which you can select as a BPCL, you can BPCL as a covered call, you can make. Only thing for giving delivery required to be unplaced in advance. Accordingly, you have to make the, you know, margin requirement. So this way you get a multiple benefits. So even though your investment is there, it is growing in double ways. One is as a stock. Second is, you know, as a, you know, you get a margin and you can invest it. So that's how you can just try to work out your money in terms of getting a multiple usage. The same money, if you just keep it in your as a cash, it will be just working as a margin. But if you buy a Nifty Bs, it grows behind the scenes, and also it will act as a margin. And as the stock value grows up, the margin also grows up. So that's how you can manage the things very well. So just I want to make a, keep strategy as simple as possible. So select an active stock, look for what are the high volumes and price upward trend. Try to track the trend. Any chart you see, whatever the chart you are seeing, look at the chart, which is what it gives, what is telling me, whether it is upward or downward or constant. So try to get the information from the charts that how is the trend is there. Then what is the increase in open interest is saying to me. So consider only few indicators, not too much indicators like VWAP, Elliott waves, RSI, etc. Whatever your choice of indicators you can choose. Accordingly, you can select it, and any other fundamental information indicator supporting as a bullish trend. So then go for a sell PE. So, but I prefer as a stop loss. Stop loss means in case of any black swan event, which is unfortunately happens over the day. If you put a stop loss for PE, whatever comfortable, even if you say that, okay, suppose you buy a premium of say 100 rupees or say, for example, 5 rupees in IDFC First Bank. So you can put a stop loss at 2.5 or stop loss at 2, but keep some stop loss so that it triggers it. Then at least you are come out of it. If it goes too much above, suppose the premium goes to say 10 or 20, then you are unnecessarily having a lot of loss. Second thing is you are sell it. Suppose if you are, you can buy a OTM as an insurance. In case of, suppose for example, you sold a PE, strike price at 400 with buy PE, OTM is you can say about 380 or something. So that will act as insurance for the any black swan event which takes place in the options. So this way, these two ways you can protect yourself, because ultimately your capital should not erode too much in a day. So if the capital, even if it erodes little, but you can get more and more, you can recover it. But if erodes, suppose if you invest 50 lakhs, if 50 lakhs is eroded, if 10 lakhs is eroded in 1 lot, or 5 lakhs is around you have to decide your positional size, how much you want, what is my, stop loss I should maintain. So that you have to decide. But I preferably suggest that stop loss should be around 5%. It should not be more than 5% because 95% capital you retain, you can play with that. But if you put a stop loss of 50%, then again you left with that, and you're psychologically you will be, I lost 50 lakhs, how to recover the 50 lakhs? That aim will come into the picture. If you lose only 5%, then 94% you have. So easy to gain back the 5%. Similarly, you can go on a call side also, same high volumes, track the trend, bearish trend, accordingly you can do that. So this is a two ways on doing it. You can go for a straddle or strangle. I do basically sell PE, sell call, and if any adjustments I do, I'll go for a convert into straddle or convert into strangle. So that's how I'll manage the things. Wherever if it is going not much in favorable, put the stop loss and then come out it and go with the fresh. So this I want to just make you to understand what is the trading analysis. So let us take the success rate and profit per trade. So this table shows that suppose you have taken 100 trades. So your success rate is you have successfully 90 trades. 90 trades have gone in your favor, and 10 trades have gone not on your favor. Okay, but the profit per trade you made is only 10 rupees, for example, and the loss per trade you made it only 90 rupees. So how much net outcome you get it? The net kitty into you in your this thing is 0. Hope you got it. Is it clear?
Yes.
So your success rate is 90 and the failure is 10, but your profit per trade is only rupees 10. So 90 into 10 is equal to 900 rupees, and your loss in 10 trades, but the loss is very heavy. So 90 rupees you lost. So that becomes 900 loss. That becomes it is 0. So though your success rate is very high, because of the profit margin is very less, your net income into the kitty is 0. So you have to keep this formula in mind whenever. So don't see many trainers or many people who suggest that whatever you I will train you, your success rate is high. Okay, if your success rate is high but profit margins are low, then it is as good as the total net income is 0 or minus. In the next slide I put 50 success rate, 50 failure rate, and the same profit for 10 and loss per trade is 90. So I'm losing 4,000 rupees. So I want to just make you to understand that success rate is not only the key factor you should look at it. Out of these many trades I made successful trades are 10 or 90 or 100 or 99 or something like that. But profit per trade also very crucial. So that decides your net income or net loss. So the profit and loss is depend upon your success rate and the profit margin and the loss per the trade, profit rate and loss per trade. So these three things are very crucial. That's why I put a table so that you will understand it. For example, if you see, even if you the last line, so your success rate is 10, but failure rate is 90, but profit per trade is 90. Whatever you success with the high profit margin you success, but 90 trades you lost. But even if you lost only 10 rupees, there also it becomes 0. Suppose if the losing trades are only 1 rupee or something, then you made a profit. So it's a combination of your success rate and the profit per trade or loss per trade. So these are the things makes you to understand how the money will come into this thing. Second thing, so the final conclusion from this table, I want to take you home. Higher success rate, higher profit per trade, higher volumes. So once you get into the idea of it, how you are managing the show, the higher success rate, if you are good, and higher profit margins there, then you can increase the volumes. You can increase the volumes per trade, you can increase the lots. So if you are first try with the one lot, then once you experiment this thing, once you are comfortable, your trading psychology fits into it, or trading pattern sets in, then you can go into the higher volumes. You can go into the lots. You can increase the lots. So that's how you should aim, such a way that the rental income will grow on increasing it. So first start with only one lot and get the rental income and the number of trades, what you do, whether it is a success or failure, keep a track of it. Once you note down the things and then you will analyze it, you will come to know where I am going wrong, how I am going wrong, and whatever is it. Second thing, so when you say that, what is your underlying intention of trading in futures and options? So you are trading for only just for the sake of trading, or you want to make profits, or you are only desperate, to want to make money. So I want to just understand you to what is the gambling. Gambling is only have two outcomes: win or lose, and with a fixed premium. So whatever you put money, you have only two outcomes: either you will win or lose. But in this, for example, even gambling also, if you see lottery may what happen, whatever the winning is phenomenal, but whatever you lose is very less. How the money flows there? So all the people who are premiums are very low, so they collects and give it to one person. So many people will give the money to one person. So that's how the lottery system works. In between the income tax department, in between the organizer takes money. Rest of the things are that the one person who gets money is collected by everybody. Whereas casino, how it works in casino is there's a fixed reward. When you bet on something, you get a double or triple, depend upon what are the bets you are taking it. And the rest of the money goes to the other bets. Other bets have gone to the organizer. So that's where the gambling takes place. Whereas in the F&O or stocks, you have three outcomes: you win, you lose, you neither. So whatever the money is there, you will be as it is with you. So there are three outcomes are there. It's a variable premium. Premiums are variable. It varies every minute, every second it varies. So in this, what happens? Many give to the many. So many people transfer the money to one pocket to other many people. So like that, money will move from one portion to other portion. Because the reason in the futures and option is that unlimited variations and lot of complexity and the infinite variations. I can say that n number of variations of gains as well as losses. So who will properly calculate and understand and study, so they can only make the money. Like covered call. So properly you analyze and think on that, and you without any emotions, you can play on that, you can make money, rental income every month. As Kothari sir tells it, don't love the stock, love the profit. So like that. So if you start loving the stock, I'm attached to BPCL, so like that, then you cannot make money. So if required, you give a delivery and forget it that I sold on that day, that much money I can make it. Today the money has gone more. Okay, there's a notional loss. So that's how you work out. And see how to develop a focus in your futures and options. So don't look for the result. I should make money this much. But instead of playing, instead you play rather than outcome. So properly prepare it and go on playing it. Automatically the runs will come, the profits will come. So become an expert trader. So understand each and every step, how the things work out. Study more before taking a trade, and try to work out that become an expert in trading options and call option and put options, futures. At least you understand the concepts and start practicing it, how the things takes place. Accordingly you do it.
Yeah.
The basic thing is that the majority, like 2/3 of trade should write. So that you should focus. It should go in my favor.
ते कोठारी शिकवत आहे ना, ते एक्सपर्टली करते 50 लाखाचं इन्व्हेस्टमेंट.
So high profit amount. So the majority should work out that.
पण ती अशी फोन करून करते, दुसरी इंटरव्ह्यू करतात तशी. फिर ऑनलाईनचा
अकाउंट. Voice is coming in the background. Can you mute please?
एक मिनट I'll just.
So the majority of the trade should go right. So that is your aim. How much right trades I'm making? So can I increase my right trades rather than the profits? First focus should be on increasing your right trades. So you should, like, suppose you are 50% are gone on right and 50% gone on wrong trades. So you should increase the trades right. Second thing, the profit amount. the trades which are going, whether my profit amount can I increase. Second thing is the 1/3, even if it is gone on loss, but whether loss is 0 or loss is minimal loss. So these are the two things you should focus, so that you are on the track. You are on the track to make money, or you are on the track to do. See, like least profit or least loss, highest success rate, high volumes, high profit or least loss, high success rate, high volume. So that's how it works out. So this slide I shown because it is like a, the stock market is like, tug of war. Stock market is like a tug of war. So people will, there are bears, there are bulls. So whose side is more, so they will fall in you. They will win, and the whose side are weak, they will fall in the trap. So you should go on checking whether, where I'm on the bull side or on bear side. So you should play accordingly, and you should move according to that side of tug of war. So that the winning side of tug of war, you have the option. You can go on bear side, or you can go on the bull side. So you should study that which side trend is more, the track is more, the force is more, which side the weakness is taking place. So you should work on like that and move on that side. So this is, this I want to just refer this photo. This person is unable to trigger the, pull the trigger of the gun. The reason being is that, see, like, too much analysis brings the paralysis. Suppose if you analyze too much, like so many indicators, so many these, so many that, so many models, there are thousands of indicators. And so ultimately, when you want to enter it, you are unable to pull the trigger. Or whether if I pull the trigger, it will hit or not hit, or where I will go, it will go wrong, because you are bombarded with the information. So anything excess is a poison or problem, I say. So if anything excess, you should not go into too much excess. But you study it out of that, you pick up one or two which you like, or which is you feel comfortable, and which you are understanding on that, and which you are useful, which is useful to you, which you are thorough on it, and those underlying assumptions are very clear to you, any trigger or any indicator. So then you are able to pull the trigger very well. Otherwise, you ended up in a paralysis and you don't move at all. Then you will be, stick to the bed. So you don't move at all. So that's how, you should work on that. Don't get into too much analysis. So what is the meaning of too much, if you can ask me? So that I leave it to you, because if you are capable of handling the analysis, n number of thousand indicators, well and good. But even after analyzing and you are able to handle it, but the decision making, considering the 1,000 views or 1,000 indicators, it is a tough. But if you have the 4 or 5 views, then you can say the majority, minority, and you can take a call. So that's where this slide shows on this. Your psychology works on that, whether you are too much analysis, or whether you go on your gut feeling, or you want to do on this. Like, see, this I want to tell that, are you with the right trade or trade right? See, right trade means you should have the right horse and the right jockey. Here, jockey is yourself. Nobody else is a jockey. The right horse is the right stock or right option. So the driver is more important than the vehicle. Even if the vehicle khatara hoga to, if the driver is good, at least he can move the things. But if the vehicle is Mercedes, but the driver is unable to drive, it is useless. So that's how the driving is more important. So you should understand how the stock moves, how you can control the stock, according to the stock movement, how you manage the things, how you are maneuvering the thing. So like that, so you should look on that. Are you trading right? So the focus on that, are you trading right? Even the, your right trade is not correct, not good. Like, okay, what you have selected a horse. You thought that by looking at the stock or looking at the option, it is going good. But after some time, the horse is not moving, or you are not able to maneuver it, or the things are going on your favor. Horse is behaving differently with you. Then you get out of the horse and go back and buy a new horse and get again, to ride again, and go on doing it. So once you become an expert, then you can become the master. You become a master. Second thing, one more slide. So how many you are managing the stocks? So you should see comfortably how many you are managing. So if you are managing the 100 options, it is difficult to control, or it's difficult to know things where it's going on, because every option moves very fast. By the time you look at it, within a minute, it goes from here to there and there to here. So if you are having too many things and which are pulling you on all sides, and if you are not able to manage the things, better not to enter into those stocks. So keep one or two, select few and go into the deeper, increase the lots in there. And because you study that one company, like Kothari sir says, he does basically two things, BPCL and IDFC, because he's deeper into it. He knows in and out of BPCL, he knows in and out of IDFC First Bank, things like that. So that's how, see, it's not that the depth is more important than the width. So if the depth is more important, so then you can have the fun of it also, you can enjoy also, and you are confident. That increases your distance. That's how you should select few options like manageable trades, preferably below 2-digit number. So not more than 2 digits are advisable as per me. But if you are able to manage well and good, but you can trade differently. But one option you have taken it. If it is not going in your favor, you have to do the adjustment. So there itself you go on, focus on your energies. So if you trade some more things, if you have like 10, 20 trades, then 20 trades are going wrong. So it's difficult to adjust in every place. So like that, that's why you try to manage the things of how many you can control. If you are able to control yourself and you are able to give time and you can do the things. So here, this slide, I just want to show it. Like, any progress is a progress. And if you are stagnant, if you are not moving any forwards, you get rusted. So like, if you have to take action, if no action leads to, getting rusted. Action leads, suppose if you have a vehicle, if you are not maintaining it, it will get rusted. It will get deteriorated. So you have to service regularly. You have to servicing in the sense you have to study about that stock, study about that company, where it is going, how it is going, how I am able to get the information, or what is underlying, trying to convey, what media is telling, what things are moving around that stock. So if you just buy the option and sleep it, it will get rusted. So it may go to zero also, it may go to anything also. You never know what will happen. So that's how you landed in a good vehicle or you landed in a bad vehicle. Even if you buy the Mercedes, and if you Mercedes will do good and a driver also good, but if you don't run the Mercedes, then it will become rusted after some time. So you have to maintain it, you have to fill the petrol and do some, at least you have to run the things and keep it steady against the rains, against the weather, against other conditions. So that's how this slide I try to show you that, see, you should make an action on everything, whatever you have chosen. The option, whatever you have selected, you should go on checking on that. See, generally what happens, the people who enter into the future options, or the people who, if you are success in one profession, had money and experimenting in stock market. I became very successful in BPCL, so I will just enter into the stock market. There also I will become successful. But it is not easy. It's not that easy. So every profession requires varied response and different mindset. Because see, like I put catching a snake is very easy for him, but he cannot, catch the bull by horns. So bull by horns is different technique. So everything has got different setup. So one profession is different, other profession is different. Okay, you can venture it out, you can do it, but you have to master it. So otherwise, then unnecessarily the bull will come and eat you and go. But don't think that I am good in one profession, then I can learn, I can do very good in other profession. Because every profession has got its own plus and minus, its own variants, its own type of working, understanding, thinking, like that. So like working in PSU is different, like working in private sector is different, like many things. If you look at that, so the profession, what you do it, even if the stock market, when you are entering into if you have money, if you are entering the stock market, but you must prepare yourself and understand yourself, then slowly get into it, learn the tricks of the trade over the period and try to get into, master it. Just dump it and just forget it, then you lose the money. So here comes See, this is, see, like the heading is the real life response versus stock market responses. So in real life responses, generally what happens, if finger is injured, so what try to do, because you try to call somebody to help and take out the finger. Whereas in stock market, so if you are in a loss, so if you, because see the finger, at least the real life response is that finger cannot grow back. But in stock market response, the finger can grow back. The stock market, even if you lose some money, you can make money. So there where you have to cut the finger in stock market, come out before it eats into your hand like that. So if when the minor losses are there, you put a stop loss and cut it. So this picture, I want to remember that whenever you are in a small loss, so if you are if you are able to bear it, fine. If you are becoming unbearable for that small loss, you have invested 1 lakh rupees, 10,000 you are losing. So if it is loss, cut the stop loss, cut the losses, get into the new things, study it, understand it. Then next trade you can go for a better trade and do it. So the real, because our mind has been trained psychologically to real-time responses. Real life responses are different and stock market responses are different. When you go for a stock market responses, you must be sure that this is a different ball game. It's not like that. See, my finger is injured. I will try, because it will further pull you. The finger will be pulled in slowly. The hands will go in. So this is what I want to convey to all our FF members, so that you be careful of your responses, because stock market you just respond, buy, sell. So these responses are very important. When you respond, it background intention should be clear, right? So that's how I want to put this stop loss. Meaning is that, are you trying to cut the because in stock market the loss can be remade, whereas in real time response the finger cannot grow back. Here also in the real life response, loyal to your family, loyal to your wife and all. But whereas in case of stock market, you need not loyal to the stock. You need not loyal to the option. You can choose different option, different strike price. I like 55 PE strike price of IDFC First Bank. So I will maintain 55 PE. But if it is if don't be on that loyalty for the particular number or particular trade or particular option. So if the market is reversing, go for a 65 CE, 65 call option instead of the put option. I will go only put options. I don't go for a call option. So you have to have varied response. So that's where, so don't the real time, in the real life response, you be loyal to the family. But in case of stock market response, you should be loyal. You need not be loyal to the stock. So that's how I want to convey this. Then second thing, here are the indicators. So the indicators in a real time show that this road goes this way, that goes this way, this goes that way. But these are all almost 99.99% accurate indicators. But whereas in the stock market, indicators are purely indicative. They don't give the real picture. It gives an indication only. So for example, my story, my life experience, I want to just share. When I was studying in a college in a Pune, for example, I've just shared that Pune, I've got into the ST bus. The board on the bus was mentioned as it is Bombay. So I got into the bus. Then I was sitting, I was starting the bus started moving it. But after I coming out, when I started looked at the things outside, it was not going towards Bombay. It is going towards Solapur. I asked him, what happened? This bus is not going to Bombay. No, it is Solapur. The board looks at Pune to Bombay. No, the driver has changed because on last minute they decided to change the route. It has been changed. So because I was the first person to board the bus, but I got into blunder. Then I got down in between. Then I have to come back and manage the show. How to make a lot of adjustments. Then come to the normal Bombay position. So what I mean to say that the indicators which are shown, so is very sometimes it may give you some wrong direction. For example, you got into your train of Mumbai, a train in Pune, assuming that it will go to Bombay. So when you come to the platform and you check in inside the train also, you check with the passengers and confirm with everybody that it is going to Bombay. But sometimes it goes to reverse also. It goes to Solapur. For example, in the Reliance Power case, so everybody thought that it is going to Bombay, but it landed up in Delhi. So it's like that. So the responses, the real-time situations are different. The indicators, okay, everybody is dooming, I will also doom, but that is not the situation. You have to make sure that which side it is going. And so that's where don't believe the indicators as an indicator, and what is the underlying assumption of these indicators also you have to study. And don't rely on only one indicator. You have to support by other 2-3 indicators. So that's how the indicators works. So you have to be very careful of selecting the indicators. See, in a real time, what happens is you have accurate indicators, but in a stock market response, they're all virtual indicators. See, it shows in the past, but in future it will follow the same or not, it is different. So that's where you have to be very careful of, just blindly following the indicators. So here, so then what to do? So indicators also a problem, then how the things, everything is an issue. How to go into, so, but in the real life response, so generally we are not allowed to catch a running train. So when the moving train, we are not allowed to get into the moving train or running train. Whereas in Bombay local, then people will start generally when the train moves in. So local when gets out of the platform, people will start getting it. So like that, you have to see the trend. See, even if you know that you come to a Andheri station and the train you want to go to Bombay side. So then the train, when the platform is correct, the indicators are correct, the train also correct, but you have to confirm after confirmation also, but the train is moving towards Bombay or not. One starts moving and getting it. So that's where track the trend is more important. So these are all indicators, whether suppose suddenly the indicators are correct, but the driver, some instructions have come that train has to go reverse, or train is malfunctioning, it has to go back to the yard. So then when you sit inside and you will land up in the yard. Everybody gets down and you sleep in the train. I checked everything indicator, I sat in the train. So then you land up in the yard, then you have to make a lot of adjustments, come back to the platform. So this is what the stock market works with. So track the trend is very crucial here. What charts are showing to me, charts are giving an indication which side is moving. Once start moving in, so you get into that train, so that at least 70% sure that it is going in the direction at least. Okay, if it is not going to fully Bombay, you can get down in between, somewhere else you can get down and you can make money. You have moved progress towards reaching to the Bombay. So that's how, so catching running train. It's generally the real life response is not don't catch a running train, you will get injured. But in a stock market, you have to catch, the only option is to catch a running train. So to make money or to make profits. So here there are a lot of temperaments. There are different temperaments are there. So like somebody is like, butterfly temperament. So they want easy go, or somebody is, exploding temperament. Somebody is, so just roams around it. He is a concentrating temperament. Somebody is, very logical or, analytical temperament. So depends upon your temperament, how you work on your temperament. So find and develop a system or process or method that works for your temperament. So you have to work out that your nature, how is your nature, whether which temperament suits to me and which method suits to me. And you have to develop a system or the methodology. You have to work out and you go on excel in that. You have to become a master in that. Depend upon your style. If you are very conservative, very aggressive, or very simple, very safe investor. So stick to your own psychology and try to work out that. Don't copy that other fellow is, is making money. I should also make money. So if other fellow is losing, I may also lose. Don't go into that. Don't compare yourself with others. So that then try to fixed to your own style. You have your own uniqueness, because every human being is a unique. Everybody has got different styles. So that's how you should work on that. And the second thing is, so the first emotion that makes losses in investing, this is a fear. See, the fear is basically the fear of losing out, the fear of missing out. See, nowadays, because of COVID, many people say that fear of missing out is there. So after the market is saying that, after the lockdown is over, there's a revenge shopping. So people will have, I missed out shopping, so I have to do revenge shopping. But there is a fear underlying that, whether this I'm losing or missing out. But what is bothering me, you have to see. See, like when you are swimming, whether you are fear of drowning or fear of water itself, because of earlier drowning experience in the stock market. So like suppose earlier I lost some money in the stock market in the childhood stage or in initial stages, then that is bothering you. So you will take a longer time to come out of the situation. But if your only fear of drowning is there, you can learn the swimming. So test the waters. So what I mean to say that you go on, action is important. So just sitting on the swimming pool side and try to learn. So you cannot learn the swimming. So similarly, you enter into the market, but with the low, small premiums, with a little smaller sizes lots, try to experiment it one by one and test yourself, because the best learning can happen only the practical learning. So even the paper trading, what people say paper trading is, it is not effective. Loss, profit. But how the profit has taken place, how your emotions are played along the profit making, how you control your emotion, that you can learn only practically. So as long as you start swimming in water, then you learn. Otherwise, even if you got a 200% marks in theory paper of swimming, so you cannot learn swimming. That's where the theory and practice makes a difference. So jump into the water at shallow depths and try to learn and compare the theory. So work out and this. And then slowly, as the practice improves, then your fears are replaced with the confidence. So till that time, so you have to practice. So if you practice only, you can make the things well. Basically, the studying the information, charts, connecting the dots, what is happening. If some action is taking place, what is the counter action is taking place in other countries. See, analyzing the trades, maintaining the positional size. Positional size is basically how much you are maintaining the stop loss. So you want to maintain. So this is basically on the fear of losing out. The fear of missing out. In the stock market, even if you miss one opportunity, suppose you have missed the COVID opportunity of 2020 March, you can get plenty of opportunities down the line. So in the second wave, some opportunity, third wave, some opportunity, some other things will come. See, market, it will not go only one way. It will come down, go up and downs are common. So when it's down, so you just enter it. So that's where one door closes, many doors opens. So that's how you should look on it. And see, the ultimate fear is death. So, but that nobody bothers on that. But the small fears are good. I just share you one incident which I observed, and I've seen in one VT railway station, one fellow who was very handicapped and he was very poor. He's not, but there is one fellow who is good and physique is very good, and he appears to be a martial arts guy. And this, the handicapped guy, he's hitting him like anything. He is jumping and hitting the good physique guy. I understand what made this person to hit him so bad. So, this thing. So, because he has that, the person handicapped guy overcome the fear of death. What it can be done? I have a fear of death. If I overcome the fear of death, I can do anything. So like that. So that's where when you observe some other people and you go on observing the people around you, you will learn a lot of things from them, that how the fear takes place. So the person who is a good physique and who is a martial art guy, he is fear of that, what other people will think. If I hit him, what will happen to me? Something like that. So that he is having other fears of what people will think, what others will see me hitting this fellow like that. So this is what the fears or this thing. But in the stock market, somebody's fear is, your confidence. It is a mind game. So like, if somebody is fearing, that means he is fearing because of unnecessarily. So, but you are confident, so the stock will not go down. I buy it, so I'll make money out of it. See, other example, I will tell you the fear in a real life senses. See, the 70% of the deaths on account of the snake bite is non-poisonous snakes. So that means people have a fear of that any snake bite is there, it is a poisonous snake. But they never think that, it is non-poisonous snake. So that's how the mind thinks that even though it is non-poisonous, but it is think that it is a poisonous and people will die. That's how the fear comes into the picture. And in the fear, what happened? The generally fear analogy you should understand. If you look at a rope and think it is a snake, then you fear. But it is in real times it is a rope only. But you imagine that it is a snake. That is a fear. But whereas you catch a snake and you think it is a rope, that is overconfident. So like you must understand the difference between what is the reality. You have to go on checking the reality, checking your assumptions of the stock or options, how it is. So are you thinking that are you thinking the rope as a snake, or whether this fear is on account of which my imagination or how much reality is there? Like that, you should just check and try to find out then your how to overcome the fear. Then second thing is greed. The second emotion that holds somebody in investing is greed. Greed means what? Collection. Leads to clutter. If you collect something, then it will become a lot of clutter. Then if a lot of clutter comes in, it becomes a suffocation. So what is a greed? To become an overnight millionaire or to make quick big money. So this is a greed. But see, sometimes even in the options, if the trade is going, you try to buy 1 lot suddenly to increase to 20 lots. You want to make quick money. But why? So you make slowly, step by step. Why you want to directly, go on to the mountain, Mount Everest immediately. But in between, you may fall also. So that's why step by step is the best solution for it. Second thing is, so you must understand that everything takes time. So slowly, if you do it, see the greed brings to corruption. When the corruption comes into the big, it is a clutter. Then it becomes suffocation or depression. So the solution for the greed is share your knowledge and charity. See, like collection you are doing is a greed. If you distribute, then your solution comes in. So like Kothari sir, what he's doing is sharing the knowledge. So then he is very comfortable. So he feel happy. You feel peaceful. His mind psychologically is very strong. So that's how things can, he can do very well. Because he's doing a charity or he's doing a free, unselfish work he's doing. And that's why he got a praise also from everybody. So that's where the sharing knowledge and the charity makes a lot of importance on your greed emotion. So if you go out anywhere, you find somebody, give some amount, whatever best you can do it. It is nothing for you, but it's something for them. So like if somebody is asking you, give it. So small things like that, whatever you have earned, give the charity to some extent. And the best thing is to give to the unknown person. So if you give it to a known person, what happened? He is known to me, then then that person also try to give a favor back to you or sort of a thing like that. But when you give it to unknown person, it is the unknown person feels that you are a god. So that's how the things take place. So give a little to many. And declare nobody. I have given to this much for this many people. I have done this, I have done this charity. Don't declare anything. So that automatically your greed emotion gets less. Even if you get more money, you are giving for charity. You are not giving it for anything. You are giving to the society. So that's how it becomes. And when you do a charity, there should not be any obligation or guilt on receivers to give it back to you in any form. So practice also, this charity also becomes you need a practice. If some people ask to give, no, they don't give. So charity every day or in any form, any kind or time like that. So give and forgive will improve your peace of mind. So then hope is another emotion. But hope is positive hope, there is a negative hope. But there are two ways it works, hope emotion. So like to recover the losses. So suppose you are invested in 1 lakh, you lost around 20,000, your loss is 20,000. So you hope that you go on recovering. So what you do, wait for some days or months, if my loss becomes 10,000 rupees, I will quit. But once you become 10,000, you again change your hope, modify your hope that 20,000 loss to it become to 10,000. Now it will become zero loss. So then you again wait. From 10,000 loss, it goes to suddenly 50,000 loss, then you repeat. What I mean to say that the hope is also a sort of a negative emotion if you don't handle well. So in this, what happens, the time decay will heal your problem. Sometimes, the time will heal your problem, but patience and discipline only work in your favor. Commitment to learning, consistently booking profits. So stop loss also will make your hope issue sorted out. So the solution is stop loss. Stop loss are insurance. Insurance means, suppose if you make a sell call, so your underlying stock is your insurance. Or if you buy a put, the cash you secured, what you are keeping a cash in your hand is you have insurance, like that. So stop loss and insurance, both are the things. Stop loss is for a short term, insurance is for a long term. So that way you can work out. So safeguarding yourself before falling to the hope trap, hoping to recover after black swan event. So why I'm saying any black swan event will make you, whatever you earn, it will take away. If your bets are very high on the day, suppose tomorrow suddenly like a COVID or any other issues, it fallen. Like Indira Gandhi, terrorist attack at Indira Gandhi day. So it is total things have fallen. That it is, the market has collapsed like anything. So anything can happen any day. You never know tomorrow. Overnight anything can happen. But better to put a stop loss, better to take an insurance, so that at least your hard-earned money will not lose. Then you need not wait for years to come back. The people who lost money, then okay, it may come back, but you have to wait. But how much time you have to wait, that is nobody knows. 10 years, 3 years, 5 years, 3 years. So better to put a stop loss and manage the things. At least you are safe. I'll talk about the gambler fallacy in the next slide. So hope is good, but worrying when hope is not fulfilled is a big issue. So when the hope is not turned in your favor, then people will worry like anything. See, loss aversion. So this is another version. This thing is that loss aversion means what people cannot bear the loss. So what they will do, they hold the losers, they sell the winners. Actually, it should be reverse. So hold the winners, sell the losers. So that should be the thing, but they cannot digest the loss. So the digesting the loss also one phenomena you must learn psychologically in option trading. So sometimes you see all trades you cannot make it right. Some trades you may lose, some trades you may win. So majority of the trades you should win. So you should accept the losses as it is. So loss acceptance is more important. First of all, you become aware of the loss, then you say that I will accept it, go for it. So I increase the bets on winners or average up so that the winnings will win more and more. So loss aversion is very crucial in this thing. Then gambler fallacy. The gambler fallacy is one thing where, like what people, if gambler fallacy is that like this was tested in Las Vegas. So there are some 43 types or something. So there is a black and white, red and green betting is there. So only one outcome will be there. So one fellow bet on the green. He bet 43 times, it got red. Then 44th time he was sure that it will become in his favor because he lost 43 times. So 44th time he put all his wealth in that, this thing that he will recover everything. But so 44th time also he lost it. The gambler fallacy means the past will not give a future on your own way. If you have failure 100 times, so 101 time you are successful. That is not guaranteed. In a trading or in any betting, every bet is a new bet. What I want to say that every bet is a new bet. The options, the logic of winning or losing is the same. The probability of winning or losing in the first bet and the 44th bet is same. Even the probability of losing or winning in the first bet or even 1000 bet is the same. But what mind thinks that अरे इतना दिन नहीं आएगा तो अभी तो आना ही है, आना ही पड़ेगा. अभी stock market इतना ऊपर जाएगा तो अभी गिरना ही पड़ेगा. Or like that, see, it's like that. Or see what I'm saying, every day is a fresh day. अगर 10 दिन से अंधेरा होगा तो 11 दिन अंधेरा नहीं होगा, ऐसा गारंटी नहीं है. 11 दिन भी अंधेरा हो सकता है, होगा. But the issue is that this is called gambler's fallacy. People will trap into this. So many trades I lost. So this I will definitely recover, like that. But same way reverse में they don't think, so many trades I gain, this trade I will lose. But there they think in opposite. So many trades I won, I will also won this trade. Because mind talks in your favor, whichever way you want to listen. So that's how the gambler fallacy, you must understand that, see, yesterday I lost. So today is a fresh. I will not lose, I will not gain. I will do a right trade. So that's where I focus on my trade rather than that the outcome. Today I will win or I will lose. So that's where you must concentrate on it. And anchoring, anchoring is what one thing is that people will anchor on numbers. 13 is my lucky number, or 9.12, the premium is 7 is my lucky number, or the timing 9 o'clock 55 minutes is my lucky time, or 3 o'clock is my lucky time. So it doesn't make the difference to the market. You are entering, that's it. So market will not change according to your lucky timing. So lucky time or numbers, whatever that is called anchoring. You anchor to certain things and you go for it. So that's anchoring bias, what people say. So don't get into these mind traps. Then confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is that, so suppose there is a facts and beliefs. So there is a common. So if your belief says that you see only what is the beliefs and facts matching. You don't see the things which are not matching to your beliefs. So this is where the confirmation bias. So that's where you fall in a trap of it. You see the overall facts. Total facts you should check, but you check only something and you say that, okay, this is confirming, okay, I'll go for this. But you have to see that the whole objective of the facts, whole facts are matching or not. So sometimes the facts is dictating that, this option will go away, it will go on not in your favor. But if 1% is accepting to your assumption, then you continue to have that option with you without sparing off. So that's where confirmation bias is more important. So some of the biases will get rid by your positional size. If your positional size is that how much I can afford to lose. So on that basis, if I make positional size, then I'm controlling my bets. So that will help you out, the loss aversion, the gamble, some of the things which you try to work out. So that's how I said I'll explain you the number of some biases. See, then one more thing. See, psychologically, pleasure is in the air, whereas pain in the body. So the pain is definitely multiplied more than, at least 3 to 4 times more than the pleasure. Because pleasure means you will see that, okay, I got the money, I made the money, then you just keep quiet. But whereas pain means you feel like anything, because it is, I lost money. So you go on, feeling the pain too much. So that's why people who are in loss, they talk about loss too much. So I suggest that people who are losing the money, they should not constantly reminding of their losses. So they should not rethink on their losses, and they should not utter a word on the losses. Okay, you can share if you want when somebody asks you to share. Okay, but when somebody says on that, I lost this much money, I lost that much money, I lost this much money, but that becomes a pattern in your way of making the losses. So, but whereas pleasures are in the air, it doesn't have much impact on your body. It's a feeling. You feel for some time, and but whereas pain is a mark on the body. Whenever you look at that, oh, this pain, this mark is because of that pain. You remember. So this managing the pain and pleasure is very crucial. So, but people will remember the pain very much rather than the pleasure. So even if you appreciate somebody, they will not remember. But if you scold somebody, they remember for lifetime. So that's how the things works in the mind. So you must clearly understand how the mind works, how the psychology works on your pain and pleasure. I mean to say that your losses and profits. So it's very difficult, but it is not impossible. So you have to work out that you have to give equal importance to the pain as a pleasure also. But you have to work on that, how I can improve my pleasures rather than bothering on my pains. So if you go on increasing your profits, go on increasing on pleasures, so then you can easily, the losses will be lesser and lesser. So like, see, market is like, a female behavior, I must say, investor is like a male behavior. So it gives, so like somebody asked me, I was asking, how your family is very happy without any problem. He says only one word he said, I listen to my wife. So I'm happy. Whatever she says, I do it, I'm happy. So listening is one thing. So like what in the listening is there, that voice modulation, pitch, tone and tenor, gestures, looks, types of words, observe body language, timing. These are indicators. These are indicators of the market. And the voice, how much voice is coming, what it is telling, it is forward or it is backward. So accordingly, you should keenly listen and listen behind the words, listen behind the scenes, and see the unforeseen, and try to, these will come with expertise. So it's difficult to convey directly that how you see, like when you listen to your wife, you understand after so many years of marriage, still something more to understand. So that's where you feel like you try to understand the market. So that's how I just put this word, so that it is not that easy to understand the market. And indicators, when you say that indicators, like underlying assumption you have to see. Some indicators are designed somewhere years back, some indicators are designed now, some indicators are coming overlapping other indicators. So which are suitable to you and which are suitable to your conditions in India, these indicators are good in US, these indicators are good in India. So this was nobody can tell you exactly, but you practice it, you will come to know what is happening in the system. And like indicators, like tears are indicators. So if the tears are indicators, whether it is a tears on account of the pain, or tears are on account of happy, or tears are on account of the crocodile tears. So these you have to work out that how these tears are coming out. So you have to see other environmental issues, how the things are taking place. So accordingly you have to work out. See, like how many newspapers you read. So there's no end of reading the newspapers, but you have to selectively, intensively good some reliable newspapers which you read, and try to get the basic information, fundamental information, and trying to get the details on what trades you are doing it. So I just want to say something here. See, like I was trading, so then my son also just watched the trading. Dad, if would have closed the option, so after 2 days would have made more money. So, but what I read somewhere else. I listen in some of the videos that जो दिखता है वो अपना नहीं होता है. So like that, the profit which is not in your hand is not in your hand. So जो अपना होता है वो दिखता नहीं है. तो जो दिखता है वो अपना नहीं होता है. जो अपना होता है वो दिखता नहीं है. Like you see in the market many things. You see in market many faces, many people, many things. Many people are making money, and so even you would have also made money. But till it is not in your hand, it is not yours. So like that. So what is in your hand is a profit. So like a bird in hand is better than 1,000 in a bush. So you virtual profit in the Zerodha, it shows that suddenly my profit has gone to 3 lakhs, but next day it becomes to 1 lakh. I lost 2 lakhs, but it's a virtual profit. You have not had it at all. Then there's no question of thinking that you had lost 2 lakhs. People will think that yesterday I would have quit, then I would have made 3 lakhs rupees. If I entered today, I would have made 2 lakhs net profit. But yesterday I would have means I would have. So anything can happen between yesterday and today. Anything can happen between the cup and the lip. So that's how. So you have to see the profit is coming to your account, then only it is a profit. As long as it is not reached your account, it's not in your account, it is not your profit. So it is the profit is in the books only. It is profit is in the Zerodha account, it's the account, but it is in you have closed, paid off the money and you got the profit, that is your profit. Till that time, it is not your profit. Even vice versa also. The loss, if till you booked, it is not your loss. I want to tell you that till you booked, it is not loss. So जो अपना है, till you make अपना, so till that time it is not yours, either profit or loss. So जो अपना है, वो अपना है. So if you book the profit, it is yours. If you book the loss, it is yours. So that's why. But the loss also can be, I booked today loss 10,000 rupees, tomorrow it is became 50,000 rupees loss. Sometimes it becomes over day also. Morning I booked the loss of 5,000 rupees, evening it is showing the loss to 50,000 rupees. Some cases. So because of suddenly some news on the stock. So then I made a loss, but it is not. I made a book the loss, that is loss, that's it. But people think is only whatever they want to think, which is unfavorable to them. So they look at the profit only, but they don't look at the losses. So you have to see the both ways. You have to be balanced, and you should have a mindset of very balanced thing and try to do it. See, there are types of investors. So like some people will do for the thrill. The youngsters who come, just for the sake of just enjoying, they come and make a thrill for they do it. Some people are lazy. They don't know even, they put the money and they forget it. They're very lazy even to eat their own food. So they're very lazy. So some people are very serious. So which type of you are investor? Which type of your psychology is there? Whether are you serious? Are you thrilled? Are you lazy? So these thrill people are, they just enter it without knowing anything, without studying anything. Some people are good. Some youngsters are very serious. But some youngsters are, majority of the youngsters are, stock market paisa kamanega, just paisa dal deta hu. They just put the money. But when they losses, then this how a losses. Then once they burn the finger, they start learning on. Whereas lazy investors in between, so they have the money, they don't know what to do. They just put in the stocks and options, they forget it. Then serious investors, the serious investors are really serious. How the things are going on, how many trades are going right, how much profit per trade I'm making it, whether volume I should increase or not. They work on that, they make a hard work and they earn more money. See, what is the treatment? See, treatment is like, suppose you lost some trades. Like, you aware of drawbacks, what you have done, like a smoking. Smoking, everybody is aware that is not good for health. So they know that there's drawbacks of the smoking, but still they smoke. Similarly, acceptance. So they, to some extent, accept also, but when the acceptance comes, ego, I know, yeah, no problem. Even if I smoke, no issues. Okay, I will end the life early. So to that extent, but this addiction comes into the picture when you come the acceptance. So what I want to say that, so when you are losing trades, you be aware of, you lost the trades. First of all, you should analyze and become aware of how many trades I lost and how much profit, how much loss per trade I made. These two things you should aware. Then you should accept that, oh, I have done blunders, I have done mistakes. Then second thing is study, action. Action you should study step by step, little by little. So like, for example, see like smoking. So you start step by step, or environment. See like, the de-addiction centers, they put them in a non-cigarette environment or non-alcoholic environment for alcoholic people. They put non-alcoholic environment. This I am talking about the serious addicts of people who are losses in continuous basis. So they are, they get in losses. So then they go and get some more money and again they invest to recover that money and again they make loss. So there what I'm saying, slowly you should come out of the de-addiction. You have to come out as a de-addiction and go step by step and little by little. So slowly every day by day, step by step and day by day and little by little, you should control and come out to a normal shape. And there the environment comes into the picture. So one is that environment. If the environment of good environment is there like FF, where the friends are there, where they are doing what they are doing, sharing them, you share yourself, then you follow them, trying to make At least that will help you out. So the environment helps out also. So if you are one smoker, but there are hundreds of non-smokers, then you don't try to smoke. Or at least, yeah, it's not good in front of smoking. So, but that way you should come out of this. What treatment I was suggesting is that first of all, aware of your losses or aware of your wrong trades. Second thing is accept. First of all, accept. Then you say that no, it is a mistake of the stock market, not mine. I have done my hard work very well. There is a news, that's why it went wrong. But that news also you would have gathered some information somewhere else to some extent possible. Okay, even if it is accepted, next time how I can avoid, think on that. So action, okay, I lost some money, I lost 20 lakhs rupees, then how I make money? So 20 lakhs I cannot make overnight. So then you start again working slowly. Then I just given a mathematical analogy. So 1.01 power 100 becomes 2.7. 1.00 to the power of 100, it's 1.000 only. So even step by step, small amounts also will in a long run, so it will give more figure. It will double your things. So that's how you should look at the things in such a way that it will help you and it will benefit you. See, there is a financial injury. Financial injury is what? See, like small losses. So that is a financial injury, but that you can repair and rectify it. So you should see when you drive a car, the accident is small, then okay, small injuries are there. But accident is too big, it becomes fatal. So your driving should be in such a way that you should at least, okay, injuries, no problem. But the fatality is an issue. So that's where you should concentrate. Okay, small losses is okay, but I should not become a big losses and end up in a financial death. So that's where these two issues critical. So are you into the financial injury or are you into the financial death? So are you leading to the financial death? So that's where you have to see that. So whether you are, where are you and how many injuries are making, every driving I'm making a mistake. Every trade I'm making a mistake. So that means my injuries are increasing. So even after one injury, then take a rest and try to recover it, then try to start again. So you have injured, then immediately next day I want to recover the money, and next day boomerang, and with the impulse trading, don't do the impulse trade. Don't take the impulse. See, you lost in 1 lakh, next I should recover. So go for a 10 lots. Then you recover, you lost further. So that's where psychologically you must understand and analyze yourself that, so the injury is okay, is recoverable. But if the injuries are too much injuries leading to death, you should avoid and completely away from that type of thing. So that's where the stop loss comes into the picture, or the insurance comes into the picture. Whether my injuries are leading to total eroding my whole finance capital. So if I total eroding the finance capital, I will go away from the market. So then I don't have money to enter into the market. So it happens with the many people in the stock market or futures and options, especially in futures and options. So this is majority of the people who have this type of issue. Then they say that it's a gambling. They say that it is not worth entering into the stock market. It is a satta. It is all those sort of things, because they are not able to manage themselves. So they try to blame the market. So like, if you are not able to maneuver the things, so you try to blame the river. So river is not good. But if you are able to maneuver, if you are a good swimmer, you can cross the English Channel also. So that's how. So you can swim in the sea also, no issues on that. But if you are a swimmer or not, that you have to see, and you go on finding out whether I am entering into the injuries too much or not. This I want to say the learning phase. See, the learning phase, what happens when you learn on something, this is for beginners who come into the option trading. See, generally what happens when you learn a Rubik cube, first you don't know what is a Rubik cube. So consciously you become incompetent. So that means Rubik cube, I don't know how to do, what are the things, how to rotate, what are the options are there, how you can rotate downwards, forwards. So the moment you take place, that is called unknown phase. Then that's called learning phase. So then consciously competent. Afterward, you start learning. So once you learn, once you learn one-sided, bringing the color, then making afterwards one side and one top layer, then one side and middle layer, one side and all sides. So then you become consciously competent. You are consciously doing it. You are able to, you got the tricks of the trade. Now you become do it. Then you master it. So master the Rubik cube like, so I'll do in 1 minute. I do in, first you start with that 20-minute cycle, then you come to 19 minutes, then you come in 1 minute. So like that, the world level, how much I can do it. So one is consciously competent is a transition stage. So no unknown to the mastery. So when generally the unknown and partially comes to the learning stage, then unconsciously competent, that is the mastery. So people will do with the closing the eyes, they solve the Rubik cube. Once they watch the things, once they see the all side once, they hold the cube with the blindfolded eyes, they can do the Rubik cube, solve the Rubik cube. But how they can solve? Because they have the mastery, because they done it. So if I open this will happen. If I open this will happen. These are adjustments, these are the things like that. So this is how the mastery takes place. So that's where the mastery comes. Like I will just share one small story of Arjuna and Bhima. So the power of observation what Arjuna has had. So Bhima was eating the laddu in the dark room because he was fond of eating the food. So all the switched up lights so that nobody doesn't want to see. He was eating the laddu, taking the hand and putting in the mouth and eating it. So that Arjuna, from this he learned one lesson. What lesson he learned? Out of the lesson is that the object and the subject both are constant. So then the arrow can go. So that's how he started learning the blind archery with the blind. So the object is there in the long distance. I am here, subject. Whatever is, both the things are there. Target and the I am there. So in the night also I can do it. These are not variable. Then why in night I cannot do it? So then he became the master. Then the Dronacharya says that how you learn this. So then he says the story. So that's how the power of observation makes a lot of difference. When you observe the things from the small incidents, it will help you to understand and think on that how people have made the money and became masters. So this is what generally everybody will go through the phases. Even I also gone through these phases when I entered into the options and studies. Actually, I made some lessons I learned. I averaged the buy options. Then I thought that time decay is taking place. Then I got into the depth of it. What time decay? How the thing plays. So buy option 1 rupee was there. Then it became half a rupee. I said I will at least make some money. Somebody will buy when I sell it, but nobody bought. So like that. That's how you have to learn by practice. So just sitting on the swimming pool side, you cannot learn swimming. Or dancing, just watching the dancing, you cannot learn the dancing. So that's why basically you should enter slowly and become master. See, there are 2-3 just suggestions, or I put a thing like that. See, we know covered call and covered put. So these 4, remember that CC and CP. See, commitment is more important. Commitment for your learning the things, preparation on those issues or your commitment. And control emotions. Your discipline is more important. When to exit, when to enter. So that's control your emotions. So like, if you see that there is a buy and pass. When you say that there is a buy and pass, stock market is nothing but you give instructions to buy and you give instruction to sell and you have to keep in between. Silence. There, that phase is very crucial because as the things move, then emotionally you get disturbed. Or a loss, I'm gay. This is a problem. So then whether I quit or not. So just check your assumptions. Whether I'm going in loss, what is my assumptions? What is where I went wrong? So, and that's where the time is very crucial, but appears to be very simple. Just give the instructions to buy, give the instruction to sell. But a lot of things goes between buying and selling. Then the consistency is the one issue. Consistently, you have to make profits. Then patience. Patience is the key in stock market. So that's where I said I will make some sort of a remembrance for CCCP. So how you remember covered call and covered put. So that's how I just developed a slide. Second thing is that generally the mind shows that whatever happens is good, whatever happens is bad. There are 2 analogies for any situation. If you find that or I'm in losses, so whatever is happening is bad to me. So, but whatever happens is good. See, if you think that happens is good, then you can start why this has happened to me. So that means I have to learn something out of it to become good. So if you, whatever happens is good, if you have that mind frame, then you can, learn out of it. But if you think that whatever happening is bad, then you go into the depression, or you go into the fear, or you go into the, get away from the market or something like that. So that's where, like, there any situation, but see, like one fellow, one story I read somewhere, one tennis player, he was a Wimbledon champion. He was suffering in the last stages of years. So then he was questioning the God, why me? Why this is happening to me? Why this is happening to me? He was thinking it is very bad. Whatever happens to me, bad. But then somebody answered him that you never, when you win the Wimbledon, you never question the God that why it's happened to you, why it is me. Then again, when you won Wimbledon many a times, you won, tennis many a times, and you excelled. That time you never asked that why me. So that when in the bad situation, you're asking why me. So up and downs are common for every life or every human being. So how you manage the things makes a lot of difference. So even in the market, so there are up and downs. So you have to manage the things. So that's where whatever happens is good and whatever happens is bad. Two ways of looking at any situation. So if you look at that, I want to tell you what is a luck. People say that you are lucky. People say that you got money, you are lucky. So luck is not nothing but your skill is equal to your preparedness meeting the opportunity in a right time. If you are prepared, your skill is very prepared, and that is equal to luck. If you are prepared very well and you are meeting the opportunity at the right time, you are see a lot of opportunities knocks at your door. Even this FF Financial Freedom membership, the joining, many people have got maybe in the WhatsApp or something, but many people have not joined. So they didn't bother. What is this? This is another WhatsApp group like that. So, but if you take that opportunity and enter it and understand it, and you can make money. People who entered, they are lucky. Are you entered? You are lucky. Are I'm not entered? I'm not lucky. So like that. So that's what I just want to share. The luck also. People say that. So right time at right place. People say luck, but right time at right place with the right preparedness. You are there in the right place. That itself is your right preparedness makes you to lucky. Failure. So failure, you have to do postmortem. If you don't do the postmortem, you never learn. So if anything happened, whatever the doses you are given to the body, whatever your treatment you are taken, if it is not done well, so you have to postmortem and check. Then success. Don't be overflown by success, but you put a next step. Suppose if you have reached one step, then go for the next step. So success, you will go on increasing your step by step. So, but what happens when you are happy? You become over applauded and then you give impulsive trades. When you're happy, you go and try to take more lots and more trades. And when you are failure, also you take more trades to recover the loss. When you are success with the overjoy and all, I will make more money, then you more trade. But you have to say that when you are success, just keep quiet, enjoy the success, take pause and go for a next trade with aram se. So no, don't go for impulsive trades. When you failure also, don't go for impulsive trades. So that's where you have to happiness and sadness both has to be maneuvered very well so that you come out of the thing. Then what happens? See, when you do a postmortem and you should do introspect. See, the introspect is only human beings having this facility. But if you see the animals and other things, they don't have this introspect. Of course, whether they have, they don't have, we don't know. But generally, it is understood that they don't have that much creativeness or innovation in the animal kingdom. Whereas human kingdom has got that creativity, the innovation, the variety, all those things are there along with the introspect. That's why they develop, they learn a lot of things they have developed. Even we are able to go to the moon, Mars, etc. That's where you have to introspect that where I've gone wrong. So what went into wrong. So you have to just check calmly, peacefully, and then I just give one following sentence. So meditation for auto-suggestion, I give this thing. Please keep it this one. You practice this every day, 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depend upon your this thing. So you can add your own version to it, but fundamentally, this one sentence is enough for you. So like I want to say that day by day, in every way, I am more and more healthy, energetic, loving, peaceful, smart, wealthy, enthusiastic, accommodative, resourceful, etc. You can add anything if you want. If at all any positive want, you can add it. So that mind gives the auto suggestion that, oh, I'm healthy, I'm immune, I'm energetic, I'm enthusiastic. So I'm smart trader. I'm a right trader. I'll take majority of the trades right. So day by day, in every way, I'm more and more, right traders. I'll do right trading. Like that, this is a simple. Sometimes you go on thinking yourself, I'll do right. I can. Instead of can I. Can I becomes a negative connotation. I can becomes a positive connotation. So this I put a synonymous for it. HELP is called help. SWER called swear. So help swear. You are swearing to help somebody. So philanthropist, that charity wise. So that's why I put these words. You can add whatever you want the words to it. Any number of words you can add. You can add one word for many days, or you can take only one word for few days, depend upon convenience and comfort you have. So I said I will share with this. This is also improve your peace of mind and how you can concentrate on your trades, how you can improve on your trades, how you can manage your own trades. So train your mind, observe and practice predicting. So sometimes you do just practice predicting. So you predict tomorrow what will happen and just check whether this predicting is coming true or not. So then find your own pattern. So pattern means scalper, day trader, positional trader. Scalper means he trades only for minutes. Day trader means he trades only for hours. Positional trader means he trades for days. So that's where you should check whether you are which type of pattern you want to do it. Suppose you just check predict in 1 hour it will go down, in 1 hour it will go up. Then accordingly you work out. So or if you want to be a safe trader or very conservative trader, go for a covered call option, covered put option, wheel strategy. So these are the simple things, quite sufficient. Cover call, cover put, and wheel strategy. So these are the best things I find what Kothari sir taught us. I also, just understanding the covered call when I was just learning, but his lecture helped us to further fine tune it and develop on this. Whatever doubts I have has been cleared by Kothari sir. So that's how I also learned things, and I'm concentrating on those things also. But this is what you have to then see. You have to develop a habit. First of all, habit is that everyday routine becomes a habit. Then habit of winning. Not winning only once, one day in a year. Habit of winning. So habit of winning in most of the trades. So that you have to develop. So it's not that easy, and there is no thumb rule. I can just tell it to you. Then I want to just tell you, this is now I come to the end of my presentation. I'll just take few minutes. So how your this elephant is tied to the rope. So if anybody knows it, okay, fine, but I will explain you. So I also wondered, this elephant is powerful, but it has been tied to a one small rope and small peg on the ground. How it has been this thing? This is called a conditioning. Conditioning means when the elephant was small, it has been tied to the rope. Elephant cannot break that rope. So that, but that condition in the mind is over the period it has happened. Every day when the elephant is brought and put the rope there at that leg, at that point, to that leg, then it says that I cannot move. It decides that I cannot move. So it will not move until unless the rope is removed. That's where the conditioning has been done. So our brain response is also conditioned from childhood to real life responses, whatever I spoke in the earlier slides. So here the real life responses has to be converted into stock market responses. So there you have to see, suppose the elephant realizes that if I broke that rope, it has got the capacity to break the rope, it can do wonders. So that's why sometimes if it realizes that it can break the rope, then it goes haywire. So that's where sometimes elephants creates a problem. So that's why you are only limited by the beliefs in your mind. The belief is that the rope is tight, I cannot move. That is a belief. So that's how that belief, if you break it, then you can make your belief change, then you can win the things. Mindsets can be very powerful. The mindset which you have, the conditioned mindset. So the beliefs which you develop but changing the belief also is possible, so you can develop. So this is what you have to decondition yourself from your normal responses to stock market responses and do it accordingly. So now I came to the last slide. So trade secrets. So be balanced and cool. So don't take heavy trades when you are not in a good mood, or when you are in a happy, or when you are in a bad shape, or when you are in a losing. So take trades when neutral or balanced mindset, cool, logical. And before entering, prepare and practice a lot. After entry, be patient. Check your assumptions, what you have won, what basis you are taking the trade. So no analysis after exit, after entering. Sorry, I put it here as exit. No analysis of entry. So before exiting, so at the time of exit, no analysis. Just put the trailing stop loss. Trailing stop loss matlab, suppose you got an option for 5 rupees. So now put a stop loss of 3 rupees, for example, premium. So if 5 has become 10 rupees, then you put a stop loss at 8. So that means below 8, then that means you can make a profit of that 3 rupees. So that's called trailing stop loss. As a premium, you are, I think this is, I told about the buy option. In the selling option, suppose you've taken a premium of 100 rupees. So you put a stop loss of 110. So because you shorted the option. So when it goes to say 20 rupees, so you put a stop loss of 30. From 110, you convert it to 30 stop loss. That is called as trailing stop loss in case of shorting. In case of long, whatever I told earlier, that is a stop loss. So that's where you can make money without any problem, and enter with 1 lot, average up, and exit. So after some time you exit, but again start with the 1 lot. Don't start with the 10 lots or 20 lots. So this where the simple secrets will help you to come over this thing and make a trend as your friend. Trade with the trend. So watch the trend where it is going, whether it is going X direction or whether it is going Y direction. So that's how you have to. And never try to correct the situation. You should be above the problem. If any problem is there, you should check yourself and how I can minimize the problem, what learning I can do it. Introspect and meditate for 15 minutes. See, lastly, I came to the end of the presentation. Lastly, I want to say that the up and downs are very common in life. How you maneuver the same is important. All freedom fight members are maneuver life's up and downs. Option is a very small thing for FF members. Challenge yourself and practice. So definitely, you can become a Dalal Street Smart. Good luck to all financial freedom members in becoming Dalal Street Smart under the guidance of Sri P.K. Kothari sir. And money will flow to all the smart action-oriented friends. So with this, I will end my presentation. I think it's useful. Actually, I've done an interactive session. Generally, I like interactive sessions, but here in the webinar, it's difficult to do an interactive session. So now I come to the end of the session. Only thing I'll go for a question answers, if any, but questions I will ask people to ask that first, just before asking the question, what they liked in this slide. If they can say at least 1 word or 1 sentence in the whole presentation, I'm very happy, and open the forum for the question answers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all, and thank you very much, Sir Kothari sir, for giving this opportunity to at least share my knowledge, share my whatever I know. I'm not a psychologist or a philosopher to give the answers, all the questions, but I'll try to, whatever I know, I'll try to share. So in what way best I can do it. Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, one question is, what 5 things you check before entering into any F&O trade?
Pardon?
What 5 things you check before entering into any F&O trade? You said that you cannot, if you check lot of things, then you will get confused. Correct. So I am asking, what 5 things? What basic things you are checking before entering into trade?
I just tell high volume. I mentioned in the first third slide also. High volume, you just check high volume, the price, whether it's upward trend or not. Then some see VWAP you can check, Iliad waves you can check, and RSI you can check, because these are the indicators. You have to see that which indicator you are comfortable. Some indicators are people are not comfortable because they just indicator. So then accordingly, any news which is favoring the trend. So these basically price, volume is the most important thing, and open interest. These are the three fundamental things on which it works. So volumes and the open interest and price, these are the three. Then other indicators you can choose. I go for a VWAP, I go for Iliad waves. Iliad waves, I enter into the phase 2 and phase at the phase 3. I quit at 3. I enter at the 2 and I quit at 4 or 3. So that gives us some trend indications. Iliad waves is like a trend markers. So I go for that. But you can check your own indicators, whatever you are comfortable with. There's no ready-made answers for indicators or the small. But if you keep it simple, you can check your assumptions again. If you keep too much logic, then one logic will work, one other logic will not work.
Thank you, Anjali sir. Excellent presentation you have given. Really, you have what I will say कि पूरा जो सोचने को मजबूर कर दिया आपने कि what we are doing, what we are taking action, what is the theory behind it. Excellent, very good, very good. I really liked your presentation. Good, excellent.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Very good. If anybody has any question, or I will start my presentation because already we are 1.5 hours is over. So if you have any question, or I will start then.
But at least any feedback from the presentation?
Yeah, Mr. Anjan, I must make a mention. This kind of presentation is required for us once in a while. Though it was not getting into too much of technicalities and other things normally we are exposed to, but this is a must because the emotions and the psychological situations you had explained. I'm very sure every listener or participant would have undergone. But you had put it so nicely in words and a very methodical, presentation. It really comes out your years of experience in a big company like BPCL that, has come out in the professional presentation. We are very grateful to you. Once again, thanks and wishing you all the best. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ramakrishna ji, for kind words.
Anjanelu Saab.
Yeah.
See, the discipline and greed is very important in the stock market. Okay. Yeah. The analogy and example which you have given to control these things are really good.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will help us because a lot of beginners are there in this group. When beginners come, they will think only about profit.
Yeah.
Okay. So that has to be under control. So your presentation was really will be helpful for them and others also. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, Rajan. Thank you, Rajan, for kind words.
Sorry, it is said that action speaks louder than words. All your pictures are apt according to what you want to convey. The picture itself conveys lots of things which you have chosen very beautifully.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And also various examples.
Sir, all your quotes and phrases are excellent, sir. Really loved your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sujata. Thank you very much for your kind words.
आपका screen sharing थोड़ा बंद कीजिए. So then I will start. Huh?
Yeah, okay. Thank you once again. I'm
thanks, sir.
Stopping the screen.
Yeah. You have to stop your So friends, जो अभी जो मेरा presentation जो होगा, it is basically the what is जो अंजुल साहब ने जो बताया है उसी के आगे का है जो उन्होंने